know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with the legendary tight end Jason Dunn. JD and I are going to go in and talk about the preview to this Week 18 finale of the regular season and some other storylines that are kind of making their way throughout the middle of this week. JD, how we doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing wonderful. Beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and man, I'm ready to get this thing started. It's been an interesting few days from this last competition. From you almost see the shift in where people start coming back on board because the Chiefs looked a lot better than what they did against the Raiders, and so. It's like, oh, okay, maybe they are a pretty decent team. Yeah, hello. They just won the AFC West and, third in the entire conference. So, yeah, you should still have a little bit of some loyalty, okay? Have some things to cheer for, right?
Yeah.
Defense is playing at a high level. I mean, doing a tremendous job. Why be the Debbie Downer, okay, if you will? They're going to make it. Even if they get to the playoffs, they're going to lose the first round. We suck. And look, man, come on. Tighten yourself up. Should we ask the guys to tighten themselves up in the locker room, right, on the football field? Tighten yourself up out there in Chiefs fandom. How about that? How you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. Like you said, it's good to see people coming back on board. I think I'm still watching some of these morning shows. People are still not fully on board. And I think also, too, it's a win-win when you dog the Chiefs, because you dog the Chiefs, you're going to get people calling you out on social media. So, I think it was the Carton show on FS1. He was selling the stock on the Miami Dolphins because, oh, yeah, the team's done. But I'll tell you one thing. They're done. They're going to lose the Buffalo Bills this weekend. They're imploding. But the first round of the playoffs, they're going to go into Kansas City, and they're going to stop those guys by 30. It's like, wait, are they done? Or are they going to beat the Chiefs by 30? I mean, you can't really have both here. But that's the thing with the Chief fans. They will, if you're praising the Chiefs, they're going to post your clips all over the place. If you're hating on the Chiefs, they're going to post your clips all over the place. So it's a win-win if you whether you hate on the Chiefs or like the Chiefs in the mainstream media world.
Well, I think in also mainstream media, they're not really watching the Chiefs like we are.
No.
I heard Bart Scott say something. I'm sitting there like, what, has he been watching the games? Been watching the games at all. And so what they hear is, wide receivers haven't been catching the football. They having some problems, this and that. And I was sitting there thinking, there's some of the comments. I'm like, this dude's not watching the game like that. He's not, somebody's probably summarizing everything to him. Hey, what it looked like in this. And he's just hearing things, right? There's a lot of games, a lot of things out there. But it's totally different when you're actually watching the Chiefs and you know exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that could go a different way, right? Somebody's watching the game. It's like, oh, my God, they're horrible. Or, we didn't pay him to block or anything. I'm like, look, if you know football, okay, if you know football, this is what football encompasses. It encompasses more than just the sexy things, I want to say, right? Okay. It's the hard work, the dedication, things that people want to do. You got to stick your nose in places you don't want to put them in, right? To try to get the team more advanced than what they have been. So, now I think the mainstream media definitely has an agenda in a lot of different ways. The things that they say. So nobody wants to sing the Chiefs' praises. They just don't want to do it. So
it's played out now at this point.
Yeah, it is. Right. It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll take it. One of the things that's come out since this weekend's game is that we've talked about it before, but we didn't really have an identity. And it seems like we are going to be more of this ball control kind of, balanced team where we're kind of emphasizing this run game. And one thing that that's happened this past week, the Jets released veteran running back Dalvin Cook. And this is an interesting one that it's making the rounds within the Chiefs world online. And should the Chiefs go get him? So the Jets released him, I think, 4:00 today. He'll be officially placed on waivers and done. And he can go wherever he wants to. And he wants to go play for a contender. That's the reason why they're cutting him. Mm-hmm. Now, the Chiefs in the RB room, we've kind of dealt with injuries all throughout the year. But Pacheco had the surgery a couple weeks ago, then a concussion. McKinnon went to IR with a groin injury. CEH has been sick, in and out of the lineup. And this past week specifically, this is one thing that kind of comes to mind. When Pacheco was needed to be spelled during that game, I remember one play specifically when P. Ryan went in there. P. Ryan had no idea where we were supposed to line up. Mahomes was getting kind of get pissed off as far as where he was supposed to line up, trying to tell him where to go. And I think they call a timeout on that play. But that was one thing that stood out to me, was that he was the only other healthy back besides Pacheco. Pacheco, he was dealing that game, so he needed a spell at one point. But the fact that we've talked about how great Dalvin Cook is. The guy only had 67 carries this year. So he's still pretty fresh. He's not an old running back by any means. He's not he's this old veteran coming in at the end of his career. Dalvin Cook's still young. And I'm not saying we're going to sign him for a long-term deal. It'd be a 1-year deal, I think. But would you think Dalvin Cook, there is somewhat of a, I guess, a kind of a big deal to pick him up? I mean, do you think he would be an impact type player for us right now to pick up Dalvin Cook with all the injuries we have in the RB room?
Is this a trick question? Is this a trick question?
It's not. I mean, it's a funny question because every Chiefs fan, whenever somebody gets dropped, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, pick him up." And I think with the RB problems that we've had, RB injuries we've had, I think it actually is one, for the first time. It's one of the ones. It's that's actually pretty realistic. I mean, it would make sense.
All right, I was saying that facetiously, but yes, Dalvin Cook. If we could get Dalvin Cook here, then I mean, that would be incredible. It really would. Not saying that he would, unseat Pacheco, but to give Pacheco a break, a 1-2 punch between Isaiah Pacheco and Dalvin Cook. You mean one of the most prolific running backs we've seen in the past 5 years? Dalvin Cook, the one that was in Minnesota who got all the yards, was probably one of the better signings this offseason. Dalvin Cook, older brother James Cook, who's starting to come on a little bit up in Buffalo, who's probably learned a lot from his big brother, who's been 4-time Pro Bowler, Dalvin Cook. Is this who we're talking about here?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, yes. Sign me up. Absolutely. The thing is, would he come here to do it is the question. If he saw forward, he understand what his role is going to be, which will be a limited role. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially if you can run for, play for a contender. This, without a doubt, would help reiterate, and solidify us running and dedicating ourselves to running the football. Especially if you have somebody like this in a room. You wouldn't have to teach Dalvin Cook anything about running the football, finding lanes, getting extra yards, catching the ball out the back. You wouldn't have to teach him anything. When you ask businesses like a turnkey operation, right? It has no risk at it. This is one of those deals that you take as a business. So as a player, a guy like Dalvin Cook, who, like you said, doesn't really have a lot of hits or carries this past year because, Breece Hall's been killing it up there.
Yeah.
I've had Breece on my fantasy, and rightfully so. Breece is, he is who he is. He's the dude. But I really did think they was going to use Dalvin Cook more than what they used it. I think it's probably one of the biggest travesties this past season is not seeing a Dalvin Cook up there running the football in the Jets, who has been struggling, right? But again, Breece Hall, right? But here coming to the Chiefs, Man, I'd love to have a Dalvin Cook. When he was a free agent, I'm like, hey, man, shoot, take a look at him. Obviously, the price point was going to be, we weren't going to spend that type of money on a running back at the time. It just wasn't. And Pacheco was a beast back there. So it didn't make any sense to do that. But having a guy like that, a veteran guy that understands football, 4-time Pro Bowler, hello, Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs in the past 5 years, Dalvin Cook, yes. And like I said again, it would have to be cared for a limited role. It would be to help out, in the playoffs. Can he give us something? No doubt about it. Would he love to come here with the Chiefs? Absolutely. And play for a championship? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to do that? I think part of that with him going up into New York was thinking that Aaron was going to come up there, right? And that was kind of like the thing, them playing for a championship. Well, he has that now. He could do that here with the Chiefs. So, no doubt about it, brother. No doubt about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I love it for the fact that there's a huge unknown with McKinnon. We don't know. He's placed on IR. We don't know when. They haven't talked about him at all. And it's scary. A groin injury for a running back. That's a scary injury. And the fact that he was placed on IR, it's obviously it's troublesome. And the fact that we're talking about we're moving towards this kind of balance, more of a ground and pound kind of thing, based on what we saw this past week, kind of feeding Pacheco. The play action, we're starting to see a little bit more of that this past weekend. You need a guy like that, and if we're spelling him, we're using him as much as we are. P. Ryan, who doesn't even know where to line up out there. I know, whatever. He got thrown into the fire, but not McKinnon. Dalvin Cook provides a little bit of. I mean, this guy was catching 40, 50 balls in Minnesota. I don't think people even forget. People forget that he was catching 40, 50 balls at the backfield. So it's like you're getting a guy who can provide you a little bit what McKinnon gave us, and then he'll also a little ground and pound, so he can give you what Pacheco's giving you. Obviously, a limited scale. He's a little older now, but this is a guy who can come in right away and give you a boost when Pacheco's not in there. I give you a boost when McKinnon's not in there, or CH if he's injured. I mean, this would be huge. And yeah, and the report was they're releasing him so he can play for a contender. And I mean, there's not another team that could use him. There's a couple other teams in the playoffs they're in the playoffs that could use him. But I think he would come in right away and give us a boost, because when Pacheco's not in the game, we never have to worry about if Dalvin Cook's in the game.
Dude, Dalvin Cook, I know you said a little older. Dalvin Cook has to slow down a bit. I didn't see him slow down in last year in Minnesota. Sure. Matter of fact, let me see. He rushed for 1,173 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's what he had.
Pretty good.
Pretty daggone good, right? And so, yes, 4-time Pro Bowler Dalvin Cook has a possibility of getting here to the Chiefs and signing him. Hey, man, it works. This would be like immediately the best 1-2 punch here in the league, going into the playoffs. Something that you could definitely utilize as a weapon. Now we talk about check down weapon.
Yeah,
he's a check down weapon for sure to our guys. This opens up the passing game because you have a legitimate running game. We know what you have with Pacheco, but Dalvin Cook would without a doubt be a threat to defenses that you would have to honor a true running back. Everybody sees Dalvin Cook on the other side, they be like, oh, okay. All right, shoot. Right? With him and Pacheco, yeah, there's no drop-off. No drop-off. Because that's how we look at it. Is it going to be a drop-off with CH? Yeah, maybe a drop-off. McKinnon, he's been hurt. Yeah, drop-off. Dalvin Cook, none. Matter of fact, if anything, you get a little bit more because of experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, man, shoot. Come on.
And sometimes what's interesting is like you look at a guy, because Dalvin Cook, he's been in the league since 2017, and you think this guy's an elder statesman, older guy. He's only 28, and it's like he's not an old dude. He's not an old dude at all. Veteran, but he's not this older guy. And I think I made a joke online yesterday because the last few years we've been big on picking up the veteran type running backs. Yeah. When you got Shady McCoy, Le'Veon Bell, and those guys were pretty much. It was pretty much the twilight of their career. It was the end. Getting a Dalvin Cook to come in for this stretch run in the playoffs, this is a guy who's 28 who could potentially, you could say, you know what? You can give him because he's young enough where he can play well in the playoffs for us, and they get a decent sized contract in the offseason.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Dude, he's got another 2 or 3 years left in him easy. Especially this year probably helped him out because he's not getting any type of hits, right? Yeah. I mean, shoot, if anything, that might help out his career. So he's still getting the practice. You know, Le'Veon sat out that entire year and then trying to get to camp the very next year and all of, right? Shady's been on, 6 teams, 16 of them. I don't know, but he was, he had been a journeyman, different places, and he had a long career, a very successful one, and and he knew him. But Dalvin Cook, man, if we could get Dalvin Cook, that would reinvigorate the entire offense. Okay, to say, well, we can go and run 3rd and 4 and run Dalvin Cook, or throw it out the backfield. He can get open. He's done it against every linebacker that you need. Who you want to put on against him, he'll beat him. So that's never a question. Come on, man. A younger McKinnon, right? McKinnon had to leave, from Minnesota, go to San Fran because Dalvin Cook, was the guy.
Yeah. So, and look at his game log as far as receiving. So 2017 was his rookie season. He only played in 4 games that year, but 2018, 40 catches, 2019, 53 catches, 2020, 44 catches, 2021, 34 catches, 2022, 39 catches. So, he's a threat out of the backfield as well. So, that's another huge thing with him. And also, too, what do you think about this? If let's say we are the ones to pursue Dalvin Cook, what does that say about McKinnon's injury?
It's been kind of, like you said, it's been kind of up in the air. And so, a groin injury is something you cannot play with. That is your livelihood for running backs, is your legs. And so McKinnon is somebody that we desperately needed in this offense. And especially now we know it's playoff time is when he really starts hitting. He really starts humming. So, that tells me it's probably a more significant injury than we know.
Yeah.
And so, trying to heal that, man, it's tough business. So, yeah, man. If you're serious about a playoff run, I don't see why not. This makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Like I said, as long as he understands his role, he's cool with it. Hey, man, then absolutely, no doubt about it.
He was there at the Jets game when Pacheco had that 60, 70-yard touchdown run. So I think he knows what we have in the building. So I think if he does come to Kansas City, he knows he's the 1B to Pacheco being the 1A.
Yeah, he's been right behind Brees all season. So this will give him everything he needs, for a contender. He can come in and actually, like I said, give Pacheco a break when he needs it, take something off his shoulder. And so, can you imagine that 1-2 punch? Pacheco go ahead and get this series. Dalvin get the next series. Yeah, switch in and switch out. He gets tired. He hits the long run. Pacheco hits the long run. Hey, tap my hat. Who you looking at? Dalvin Cook? Oh yeah, come on, sign me up. Dalvin, your time. Get on in there, man. Show them how it's done. Yes.
I'd never be concerned about our running back situation at that.
Never.
Man.
That's why I said, is that a trick question?
Well, at first I don't know because sometimes people go a little too overboard. Where it's like, oh, go get him. Any guy gets dropped, and that was the running joke on the Chiefs game Twitterverse. It's like, oh, that guy got dropped. Go get him. Go get him. It's like, wait, we don't even need that position. But this, man,
he looked good in red and white too.
Yeah, he would look pretty damn good. You know what? He was Florida State Seminole. They have the same tomahawk chop chant, so he fits right in already with that.
Yeah.
So the other the thing that's been making the rounds this week is it was I think Mitch Holthus actually brought it up on a tweet, and it was from Warren Sharp of Sharp Analytics. Reported that the Chiefs did something this year that has not been done in 35 years in the NFL. The Chiefs had 5 consecutive opponents in December that had extra days to rest and prep. Packers had 10 days, Bills had 14 days, Patriots had 10 days, Raiders had 11 days, and Bengals had 8 days to prepare and rest to prepare for Kansas City. So, JD, it was an up and down December, one to forget, I would say. Chiefs went 2-3 in December. But my question is seeing what Mitch Holthus tweeted and then seeing the fact that it hasn't been done in 35 years, that the team hasn't gone against 5 straight opponents that had extra days to rest, and prep. How much of a factor do you think this played in the Chiefs going 2-3 in the month of December?
No, it's a good question. It's a really good question. I seen that yesterday, and I was just like, there's some validity to it, I'm sure. Team having more time to prepare, a little bit more time to rest, could be to their benefit, no doubt about it, right? Because then you just got more film. You could take your time on what you need to do to game plan with teams. So I think that does have some merit. But also, too, sometimes when they go on breaks and you have a long break, sometimes guys come back lethargic because you haven't been practicing. And then if a team, I mean, you see it all the time when certain guys come back from the bye week, they're just not the same, right? Whatever it is, part of it is just getting out of your typical schedule that you do. And you got a little break in between. You lose a little bit of focus. You're just trying to get back in the building, getting the cobwebs out from all the things you've been doing. So did that affect the Chiefs? If nobody said anything about it, who would have cared? Who would have known any of that, right? And I'm not saying that the NFL did that, on purpose, because I doubt if they did. It just happened to work out that way. So, guys are just making the schedule. You know how the dude's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, shoot. Like all these, they had bye weeks before they played the Chiefs. Like nobody really knew that until you go into the analytics, right? Analytics come up.
Yeah.
I'm to be honest with you, teams are going to play regardless. I don't care if a team has a rest or not. You're here to do the job. You're here to win games. And each and every game we were in, the only one I feel like we got kind of beat up with was the Raiders. That whole stretch. Other than that, man, I mean, shoot, we almost had the Bills won. Should have beat the Bills. Okay. Green Bay is another one. Had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
Who's another one? Who's a third loss?
Packers.
And the Packers. Well, I said Packers. Packers had them on the ropes. I was thinking Packers. I'm thinking Raiders. And the Raiders.
Yep.
Right? I said the Raiders is the only one that was kind of getting us, but we should have probably beat the Packers and the Bills in that whole stretch. So preparation, because you have time to do it, definitely helps. No doubt about it. Rest absolutely helps the body. So I do believe there's some validity in what was being said. Should it never happen again? Sure, why not? Okay, why not? So
the fact that happened in 35 years, that was the crazy part to me. Yeah, sure, they had extra rest, but the fact that happened in 35 years, that strikes me as the NFL might have made a mistake because, I mean, they obviously 35 years, they purposely don't do that, specifically 5 back-to-back games where you're playing against teams that come off a bye or extra days of rest.
Well, I mean, then it goes into, I was seeing people with the conspiracy theory. See, I told you they don't want the Chiefs to repeat, don't make it a dynasty. Okay. Look, you start getting into the whole scripting things, a particular way. Haven't been done in 35 years. Just make sure it doesn't ever happen again. Yeah. Right? Going forward, you see that, let's make sure there's no mistake like that ever again if you want to do those things, right? But hey, man, the Chiefs got to handle business where you got to handle business, period, point blank. So I think they did a decent job during that stretch. So it wasn't like we was getting killed during that time. Like I said, nobody would have known, been any smarter on the whole thing. Nobody said anything. So what? Hey. Yeah,
and also too, like, and one of the wins we had, if you think about it, Bengals played on a Saturday against the Steelers. We didn't play till Monday, so they had 8 days to rest and prepare. We didn't play till Monday against the Raiders that week, so we only had 6 days to prepare, and they had 8 days to prepare, right? So there's a 2-day window where they got to watch the Chiefs play live on Monday, and we won. We came out and won that game. So sometimes you lose those games when the other team has more rest, and sometimes you win those games. So I mean, if that whole thing was a certainty, then we would have lost all those games. All those teams who had rest it's 100% locked that you're going to win if you have more rest. So that's not the case. We won 2 of those 5. So
yeah. So I mean, and like I said, we should have had Buffalo. Should have beat Buffalo. Was in a position to beat them and the Packers. So we should have really ended up being 4-1.
Yeah.
So
take away 2 controversial calls, and you got 2 wins right there.
Yeah, it's true. It's right. So
that Bills game, man, that really shaped the AFC playoffs big time this year, because that Kadarius Toney play happens. Bills are probably maybe out of the playoffs. Miami is already won that division, so they're resting their guys this week, and who knows, maybe they might play this weekend, so Bills don't make to the playoffs. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that would have worked out.
Yeah. Well, we had opportunities even before that little play, but we just didn't score. So, and that's the woes we've just been going through all year. Didn't matter how much rest they needed, or we needed. It's just us putting those things together. That's what we was trying to figure it out. So
I mean, hopefully, like, it seems like we have a based on what Mahomes said after the game. Hopefully, it seems like we kind of know what our identity is. Great defense. Just get points where you can get points. Don't leave points on the field. It's essentially what it is. Don't leave points out there. Whether it is a field goal, obviously we want to finish drives, but if we can come away with getting field goals, let's do it, because we have a defense we trust out there. So just don't put them in bad situations or predicaments. Right.
I think sometimes you may have to go with the analytics and go on fourth down. We got their 4th down to 1.
Yep.
But I think in the red zone we need to do a much better job running the football in the red zone. Okay, and actually dedicating ourselves to running the football in the red zone. Run the ball, run the football, and we can do that. We get a Dalvin Cook here.
Yeah. Could you imagine a 2-back set with those 2 in the shotgun, both those 2 on your side? I mean, you don't know who's getting the ball there.
Yeah, come on.
Do you think after watching the game on Sunday and hearing Mahomes after the game, and obviously there's certain spurts in the game where we didn't run the ball, so it wasn't like we went on full on ground and pound, but I mean, it seems like we stuck to it a little bit more and had a little bit of elements of play action there. Do you think they have, and based on what Mahomes said, do you think they have their identity? I mean, because I know a couple of weeks ago you were saying that they don't have an identity yet.
Yeah.
Do you think we're finding it now? Do you think that they're kind of catching on to it?
I think we've been forced to say, okay, this is what we need to be. And sometimes it takes a game like we just seen to solidify that, right? To define who you are, right? And so this has to be our identity. And I want to adopt even more of the run than what we did even on Sunday. And so it's not a secret. It's not a secret at all. But I do like, kind of condensing the offensive playbook. Let guys go out there and just play fast. Throw the ball down the field. And I love the deep passes to Watson, to MVS, and to Rice. Throw the ball down the field. Make it legitimate deep threats. Okay? Let the defense cover the entire field. You have to. You have to do that. So I like that. Show how, take shots when you need to. So yeah, I think we worked into somewhat of identity, and hopefully we stick with it.
Did you see the someone posted the clip from when Sammy Watkins caught that deep pass in the Super Bowl against the Niners on Richard Sherman? Mm-hmm. Did you see the side-by-side play with the Rashee Rice play? It was almost the identical. It looks like we went back to the well. We went back to some of our old plays, and it was the exact same play that we ran in that game with the Rashee Rice bomb.
Oh, really?
Last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see your thoughts on it. I mean, because if we are going back to plays from a couple of years back, then you know what, we are condensing the offense a little bit, going back to the basics of the Andy Reid offense a little bit.
Well, that should always be a part of what you do anyway. I mean, I think it's every offense should have a deep balls. When we talking taking shots, you have to have that in your arsenal. So sometimes you just got to dial it up. Sometimes you just have to do it. Like, hey man, we're gonna take a shot right here. Why not? They look like they sitting right on the sticks, on the hitches and the curls. Run past them this one time. Okay? Get them out their daggone back pedal. All right? That's why the one that I guess Jones took that little hitch to the house. Well, the hitch was 8 to 10 yards deep, which first off was too deep for one, but also two, you didn't get the DB out of his back pedal. You didn't take him with anything vertical. So, okay, I guess what? Keep peeking back here. Keep looking at Pat, and our wide receiver's going to be right by you. Okay, so yeah, that was brilliant by them. Brilliant.
Yeah. So 2-3 December. Won the last game of December. Last game of 2023. So we could say it's a December to forget, but hey, on to 2024. We can go undefeated starting this weekend in that 2024. Even if we have some of our backups in this weekend.
Well, then a new season starts with the playoffs. So
exactly. So obviously this weekend, last game of the regular season finale. Chiefs will be traveling to LA to play the Chargers to end the season. They are currently a 3-point underdog, but since the Chiefs have the 3 seed locked in already, whether we win or lose that game, we'll probably be seeing a lot of the reserves here this weekend. So before we get into the incentive and milestone talk, JD, I want to know, do you think a lot of our guys are going to play this weekend? And do you think the Chiefs will win this game? And do you think they cover the 3-point spread?
So the Chiefs are the underdog?
With their 3-point dog, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I do believe the Chiefs are going to win. I do believe they will. I think they win by at least 14 points, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, however they figured out, they're looking at it. I think the Chiefs need to go into the playoffs with a positive note. And so that goes into beating the Chargers. Why not? Why wouldn't you try to do that? A 3-point underdog, that's crazy to me. So my money's on the Chiefs by 14. Will the guys play? And I said there's a lot of different milestones for different guys to kind of hit. I do believe that our starters will probably play a half. Maybe try to, work some things in. I know Kelsey's trying to get to 1,000 yards. Pacheco's trying to get 1,000 yards. Chris Jones is trying to get the 10 sacks. So Rashid Rice, same thing, trying to get the 1,000 yards. So you got several guys that have a chance to do some things, hit some milestones for sure. I think you give it a chance, an opportunity, and a shot at it the first half, at least the first half. First half don't happen, hey, man, we got to sit you down, right? I remember we was trying to get a milestone for TG, and it was playing the Chargers. The same thing, playing the Chargers. I forgot what it was he was getting. But we was throwing that joke of flat routes over the football, and I get on the side. I'm like, man, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing right now? They said, what the hell? Are we trying to get him the record, or are we trying to win the game? So I was like, look, don't compromise the game to getting a record. Okay, we still trying to win this thing. And I was slightly joking there, but I think we do try to get Kelsey, no doubt, 1,000 yards. I think that's important. Same thing with Pacheco, getting that 1,000 yards would be incredible for him. And Rashid Rice, same with him too. So Chris would definitely be able to get it. Chris could come in for 5 plays and get it.
Yeah.
He'll pick and choose.
In and out.
Yeah. He'd be done. All right, Chris, go on, sit down.
How mindful are the coaching staff? Because obviously the money aspect, there's a separation from the front office and the coaches. But how mindful are coaches of these incentives?
They know. They know. I don't know as far as the contracts work, like how much they'll get for it, but at least like the 1,000 yards, like if Pacheco's never had 1,000 yards, yeah, they'll definitely want it for him. Okay, and they're speaking about it. They're talking about it. Matter of fact, I'm sure the offensive line is talking about it. Like, look, man, we want to get our back 1,000 yards, and we need to do everything in our power to make sure that we do that. And so guys are aware of these things. They really are, the coaches and whatnot. Now, as far as if a guy's going to get, a bonus of like $1 million or whatever, it may be different. It may be different. So,
but as far as the milestone, not the money aspect, the milestone.
The milestone, they for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. But if a running back's like, hey, coach, listen, I need to get that 1,000. Yeah, we're going to try to get it now, coach. I need to get that 1,000. Well, why is that? because I get like $250,000 off his bonus too. Oh, I got you. I see. So yeah. Sometimes you need to whisper that in their ear too. I get a little bonus, a little incentive put in to that milestone as well.
Yeah, especially if you are that 7th round running back who hasn't gotten his contract yet.
Come on, man.
Every little bit counts.
Every little bit counts. That's why playoffs need to get to the playoffs, because that's another check that I'm gonna get. Hey, we need to go ahead and make that. And so those things, that's money that you haven't really factored in. And guys will be pushing for it, man. So yeah, for sure. We're looking for these guys to get it, but I'd give them at least a half, to try to create that opportunity for them. So that's why I say come find out on all cylinders. I don't think the Chargers are going to win by 3. That's crazy to me. Okay, yeah. We going into this game to win, man. We need momentum. We need to build up momentum going into the playoffs. And I said this. I said the young guys, they need to play. Rasheed Rice needs to play all the whole game. Okay, same thing with all the wide receiver core. Justin Ross, I've been talking about him. He needs to come out there and play. Richie James needs to play. Watson plays. MVS plays. All of that. Every single one of them guys need to play football. Nobody needs to rest. Only one I said gets to half be Travis. Yeah. And if you're up, what you try to do is you try to get up early on people. Get up early on, then bring Blaine Gabbert in. Let old Goldilocks come in and get a couple passes in. You know what I mean? Sit PM 15. Shoot, that's what you're working for. Earn the rest. Earn it.
Yeah, it's actually, you make a really good point here as far as we actually have a lot of guys who need these certain milestones or want these certain milestones. So you get a half of these guys based on who the Chargers have been trotting out there the last few weeks. I think I think you can put up a win with our reserve, a mix of our reserves and our starters over this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, try to hit them early. Look, the Raiders put up 60, hung up 65 on them? What was it, 60 something?
63, yeah. Something ridiculous.
Yeah. So, hey, man, I want some of that. I'm like, if these jokers going to hang up 60 something, we need to hang up at least half that. At least.
And didn't they just lose to the Broncos with Stidham last week?
Stidham, man, come on, man. Yeah. We really? Man, that's disrespectful. So
yeah, and plus they're not really playing for much. And I'm not saying they're going to try to lose this game by any means, but all these teams are trying to get these higher picks for some of these players coming out in this draft. It's a very talented and loaded draft, so you never know.
Yeah, they might toss this one, man, but some guys won't allow it to happen because it's just not their makeup. It's not their DNA.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing too, because it's like you got players. Coaches who are and I think this guy's an interim coach. I don't think this guy is going to be their head coach, the one who's the first time head coach in his career. So I don't think he thinks he's going to get a head coaching job. So it's really not that pivotal for him. Obviously, he wants to win it, but the players, they're fighting for incentives. They're fighting to keep those jobs for the following year. So like they're the ones, they don't care about the draft choice. They may not even be in San Diego or in LA next year. So like they don't care if they lose or win that game. So they're going to be trying their asses off. I mean, whatever happens by the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. So I just, I don't believe that whatsoever. So you got to go in with the mindset you're trying to win this game. You're trying to win it, handily and decidedly, and do it fast. That's the way. Take them out early.
Did you see talking about the losing games or trying to tank or whatever? It was at the end of the Eagles and Cardinals game when the Cardinals were about to win. They showed a shot of the GM on the sidelines. That dude looked like he was furious that they were winning that game.
Oh, what, the Cardinals?
The Cardinals GM, yeah.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Well, it was funny because a guy like that, just came into the job. I mean, for the most part of this year, they didn't really do much as far as adding pieces. So it seemed like they were all in on getting a high pick and trying to build up from the start from this coming draft. But they win that game because Kyler's still he can make starter in this league, whether it's in Arizona or elsewhere. So he's making sure he still lets the world know that he still is who he is. So all these guys. James Conner, Hollywood Brown, all these guys.
No, that's true. That's true. That's what you got to do. But gee, I'm sitting there like, what the hell are they doing? I thought I sent a message down there. Hey, Billy, listen. Hey, call down there and tell them go ahead and abort the mission. Jeez, what we doing?
So getting into some of the, you mentioned some of the milestones here, but I should have go through them real quickly. There's 4 I have here. So Kelsey needs 16 yards for 1,000 yards receiving, JD.
16.
Will Travis Kelsey get it?
Yeah, sure. That's 2 catches, maybe 1. So, yeah, I think he'll get it.
Pacheco needs 65 yards for 1,000 yards rushing. Will Pacheco get it?
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough. If you sign Dalvin Cook this week, it won't be that tough.
Yeah.
You know, give him a little rest. Get him 65. Okay, get him to 65. Let him rest. But running the first half, you could get 65 yards against this defense in the first half. Definitely. Go ahead. What other ones?
Rashee Rice needs 62 yards for 1,000 yards receiving. Will he get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because you think he's going to play more than just a half?
Rashee Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, he better. He needs to play.
Yeah. I hope he gets it. I saw some list that he's based on his season with the what he has as far as the 900 yards receiving and 45 catches. I think he joins like some like elite crew of rookie receivers to have at least more than 70 catches and 900 yards in a season. So he's already like setting rookie records, joining like an elite crew. Like I think Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type guys with the numbers he had. So yeah, getting 1,000 yards would be a nice little thing to talk about in as far as a rookie season.
Oh yeah,
and especially an Andy Reid rookie receiver because that doesn't happen often. Okay, and then the last one. This is more of this is incentive and also obviously a sack. But Chris Jones needs half a sack to get 10 sacks. If he also gets this, he'll also get a $1.25 million bonus. So will he get that, JD?
Oh yeah. It's not gonna get half a sack. And Chris said, "I'll play the whole game to get that." Make sure. So I'm looking at all of this, man. Stats: 16 yards, Kelsey; 65 yards, Pacheco; 60 yards, Rice; and half a sack, CJ. These are numbers you can all do the first half. This is first half production right here. So yeah, it's very doable for all these guys. I hope each and every one of these guys get it. And like I said, they got to go in their mindset. When they come in and doing work, they come in and doing work fast and in a hurry, and then take your helmets off and sit down after that. That's how I look at it. And this team is rife for the taking to do this against. Okay, so yeah, man, this is all can be done in the first half. Why not? So if I'm traveling all the way out there, I'm not going to sit on the sideline. I'm going to travel. Let me play a little bit. Let me play. So yeah, man, Kelsey will definitely get it. I'm just putting check marks on all of them. Kelsey for sure. Pacheco definitely. Rice definitely, and then Chris, CJ. Yeah, so definitely.
As far as the obviously the harder ones this week would be the 62 and 65. It's not a gimme by any means, but like of those two, which one do you think is more doable? The 62 yards receiving and the 65 yards rushing?
The 62 by Rashee Rice, because I think Rashee Rice will play the entire first half, the entire game. I think that. Pacheco, you may want to try to rest him. That might be a little bit tougher on the 65 yards. But here's the thing. If he has an incentive in his contract to get the bonus, sometimes some owners be like, look, you know what? You was close to it. Heck, you missed 3 games. You would have easily had that. Easily. I would have had close to 1,200 yards, if not more. And so.
But like from a personal, you played, so like from a personal standpoint, like I want that. Like I know I'm gonna get paid for it. Like I want the one that I want to be able to look in the stat sheet from 2023 and say, hey, I had 1,000 yards rushing. Yeah,
I mean, you want to see that. You want to do it. You want to accomplish it. You just don't want to. Sometimes you got to save yourself. Save. Coaches got to save you from yourself. Say, look, man, look, we know your shoulder's been banged up. Unless you're gonna play the entire game. If we need to pull you, we're just going to pull you. If you don't get the 65 yards, you're not close to it, then we just got to pull you, man. Hey, matter of fact, get it next year. If you don't get it this year, get it next year.
Yeah.
So we'll put that up on the wall that this is the task. It's what we're putting up here right now as what we're trying to achieve. That 1,000-yard rushing for next year. Matter of fact, put in 1,500, 1,200 if you want to do that, right? Yeah. But yeah, man, let that be the goal for next year if you don't get it. But they definitely gonna give him a chance and opportunity to do it.
You know? And who knows? You can break out a 60-yard run. Boom. We're not even talking about playing it any more than a half.
He could do 3 quarters. 3 quarters would still be enough.
Yeah.
Still be enough, and it still won't hurt him. So even if he has that 4th quarter off, he can still achieve that. There's still enough rest that these guys need. So.
Yeah, all these guys get, and I'm sure there's other incentives that we're not even knowing about that other guys have, like even getting like 7 sacks or having a certain amount of tackles. So yeah, I hope everybody gets all their money this weekend. Yeah,
for sure, definitely
more money for everybody. But all right, because I already know how I'm going to go with my betting when we do our betting show on Friday. I some of these numbers right here, JD. I'm going to be all over these.
yeah, you should. Especially like you said, if guys got to work into their contract as an incentive. Nice little bonus there, without a doubt. CJ, he's gonna get there 1.2.
Oh yeah.
You had to pull him off the field, pull him off. So
yeah, he's definitely gonna try to get that, and then whatever else the other incentives he has. But all right, well that does it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns. We'll see you guys Friday on our betting show. Then of course on Sunday we'll be on Bleacher Report. Right after the Chargers game. But yeah, for those of you tuning in for the first time, you can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts. And that's Chief Concerns. And yeah, JD, love you, brother.
My brother, love you too. Appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Okay, Friday.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.